Back in February, Prophet had done a feature on the swarms of locusts laying waste to entire yields of crops and threatening Pakistan's food security. The swarms had seemed biblical in proportion, but with 2020 turning out as it is, a second wave of attacking locusts may not be the forefront of everyone's concerns. But as the locusts grow stronger and farmers more helpless, it may just be the last nail in the coffin for an already teetering society. Hassan Naqvi reports. When Prophet had covered the first wave of locusts attacking, the focal point of our feature had been Ghulam Abbas Nabi, a small-time farmer of Mirwathari in Sindh. Ghulam Abbas had been ruined, his farm plundered by the menacing insects. We called him apprehensively for the story, concerned over any further havoc the second wave may have exposed him to. The call was attended by his daughter, Abira, who promptly informed us her father had died of a heart attack in March, the stress of his lost crops and inability to provide for his family taking a heavier toll on his weary shoulders than they could carry. She had taken over the responsibility of the farm from her father and was discontinuing her education at Mehran University. Abira, her family, and her dead father are only one such story. While the provincial governments are banking on their ill-equipped and ill-trained district agriculture departments and farmers to cope with this wave of destruction, there seems to be no discussion at the national level on the locust attacks, beyond a hope and a prayer. Up until now, the swarm of locusts that have attacked crops have damaged cotton, wheat, mango, and other green crops across the country at a large scale, which is estimated to cause more than Rs 800 billion in losses to our agriculture produce. In addition to food security, cotton experts are saying that locusts attacking the country's cotton crop is a huge blow, since Pakistan was already missing its cotton production target by 7 million bales last year. A decisive blow to the country's cotton crop and textile exports. The response has still somehow been minimal from the government. As one disgruntled farmer complained, when dengue breaks out in a city like Lahore, it becomes a national issue. But when farms are inundated in seasonal river flooding, no one bats an eye. It is the same attitude now that these locusts are destroying our crops. Except this time, the Shehri Babus must pay attention, because once food prices begin to hike, this will become a national issue. Politically, the response has been lukewarm to this looming crisis. Perhaps the only vocal voice has been PPP chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, who has pleaded a number of times for the implementation of a national action plan for surveillance and control of desert locusts in Pakistan to stem the tide of the drones of locusts before they become an uncontrolled invader. According to Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mukhtar, who holds a PhD in entomology and molecular biology, it is the early inaction of the government, which means farmers may now have to live longer with the dangerous pest. When the first swarm entered Pakistan in 2019, it was simply hoped that it would go away. Instead, it laid eggs all over the place, and now hundreds of billions of hoppers may be ready to fly soon. He goes so far as to say that thanks to the negligence of the government, we cannot say for sure that we have any swath of treated land which is free from the pest. The representatives of the federal and provincial governments had met as far back as January, when Sindh's districts came under attack. Both sides agreed to the National Action Plan for Surveillance and Control of Desert Locusts in Pakistan, under which Islamabad would provide aircraft for aerial spray to the Sindh government, a still unfulfilled promise. The story is similar in Balochistan, where after weeks of inaction, only 1 aircraft and 3 helicopters are being used for operations. In Punjab, Chief Minister Usman Buzdar only seemed to thud into action on May 18th, when he tweeted that he had asked the federal government to provide 3 aircrafts for aerial spray of insecticides on the area under the locust attack. The Punjab government has allocated 1 billion rupees for its fight against the locust attack. The government was following the policy of tracking and destroying, and so far, 3.7 million hectares have been tracked and 133,000 hectares had been cleared. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the provincial government, with the help of the Plant Protection Department and the FAO Pakistan, has started a chemical operation against the locust swarm, besides running an awareness program for control of locusts among farmers in 12 districts. To immediately prevent, minimize, mitigate, and eliminate this extremely dangerous challenge, the government needs to maximize scientific monitoring of their movement and trends and issue regular warnings as to where they are likely to strike and damage. While Prime Minister Imran Khan has announced a state of national emergency to control the locust infestation back in February, there is still no coordinated effort between provinces and the centre to control the pest attack. And while international support is important and helps as the government fights this menace, it must remember to not just look ahead, but also back, and not forget those already devastated by the locusts. The victims of swarm attacks, such as the heirs to Ghulam Abbas Nabi, should not be forgotten. Farmers must be compensated so that orphans like Abira can continue their lives and complete their education in some semblance of normalcy.